In the silent forge of the soul, where chaos meets calm, a warrior is born. Life itself is the fire, unyielding, merciless yet sacred, shaping us as the blacksmith tempers steel. To walk the path of mastery is to embrace the Hagane no Ishi, the will of steel, where pain becomes polish and discipline becomes destiny. The legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi walked this path, not through comfort, but through confrontation. Against fear, against weakness, against the self. His teachings are not mere words. They are flames meant to burn away hesitation, to awaken the beast that sleeps within. This is not just motivation, this is transformation. So if you seek to rise, to stand unbroken amidst the storms of life, stay until the end, for together we forge more than bodies, we forge spirits. Comment if you're ready to awaken your inner Musashi, and subscribe to join this brotherhood of modern warriors, united not by blood but by will. Thank you for walking this path with me, for only the brave walk into fire to become unbreakable. Clarity of purpose is the very first fire that ignites the warrior's path, the flame that guides him through the darkness of uncertainty. In the way of the samurai, to live without clear intent is to swing a blade without aim, powerful yet meaningless. Musashi understood that a man's spirit fractures when his purpose is divided. He wrote that the warrior must know his purpose and act upon it without hesitation. This is not about mere goals or ambitions. It is about aligning every breath, every motion, every thought with a singular truth, the mission you were forged to fulfill. When your mind is scattered, your power leaks like water from a cracked vessel. But when you gather your will into a single stream, it cuts through obstacles like a river carving mountains. Clarity transforms confusion into direction, and direction into destiny. Without it, even strength becomes wasted motion. To achieve clarity of purpose, one must look inward, beyond noise, beyond the illusions of fame, wealth, or comfort. Musashi renounced luxury and distraction because he understood that every attachment dulls the edge of focus. The warrior's clarity comes not from addition, but subtraction, stripping away what is unnecessary until only truth remains. This is the spirit of Shin, the true heart, unclouded by emotion or ego. The modern world tempts us to chase everything at once, but the way of Musashi teaches that mastery begins by saying no to most things, so that you can say yes with all your being to one. When you find that one cause, that one purpose that sets your soul ablaze, the universe itself begins to shape around your will. Focus is not force, it is flow, guided by conviction and sustained by vision. In the Book of Fire, purpose burns brightest when tested by struggle. True clarity is not found in calm moments, but in chaos, when the path blurs, when failure whispers, when the world demands compromise. It is then that the warrior recalls his purpose and steadies his spirit. Musashi believed that when your purpose is clear, no storm can shake you. The enemy may outnumber you, life may strike with fury, but the warrior who knows why he fights never falters. Clarity gives strength. Meaning turns suffering into sacrifice and transforms pain into progress. To walk the path of the beast is to awaken each day with fire in your eyes and certainty in your soul. The sword of focus cuts through fear, and every step becomes deliberate, every act becomes sacred. When you live with clarity of purpose, you no longer drift, you charge, you carve, you conquer. That is how Musashi became legend, and that is how you become unstoppable. Mastery through repetition is the essence of transformation, the process through which raw potential hardens into unshakable skill. Musashi knew that greatness was never born in moments of glory, but forged in countless unseen hours of practice. Every strike, every stance, every breath, repeated thousands of times, until motion and mind became one. To repeat is to endure boredom, to transcend frustration, and to embrace the grind as sacred. The warrior understands that repetition is not dull routine, it is ritual. a form of meditation that sculpts the body and sharpens the spirit. When the blade is swung 10,000 times, the act ceases to be physical. It becomes spiritual. An extension of Shugyo, the austere training that purifies the soul. Musashi wrote, "Do nothing useless. Each repetition must carry intent, awareness, and presence." Through this mindful discipline, mastery is not an achievement. It is a state of becoming, a continuous refinement where perfection is approached but never claimed. Repetition is the fire that burns away weakness. Each time you repeat an action, you confront your limits and polish your flaws. The world celebrates talent, but Musashi revered endurance, the ability to remain steady when others lose patience. He practiced with both swords, not for glory, but to unify the mind and body under one rhythm of control. Every repetition was a dialogue between him and the universe, an affirmation of will. This is the spirit of Kaizen, continuous, never-ending improvement. In the modern world, most seek shortcuts, mistaking movement for progress. But repetition teaches humility, that mastery demands patience, precision, and pain. You cannot rush the fire that tempers steel. The same strike practiced 1,000 times carries the wisdom of all past failures, all silent hours, all inner battles fought when no one was watching. Repetition is not about doing more, it's about becoming more. Through mastery born of repetition, a warrior gains freedom. What once required effort becomes effortless. What once demanded focus becomes instinct. Musashi's mastery allowed him to fight without thought. His movements flowed like water, unhindered by hesitation. This is Mushin no Shin, the mind without mind, where mastery liberates you from overthinking and connects you directly to the present moment. Every artist, athlete, or creator who ascends to greatness walks this same path, the repetition of the mundane until it becomes divine. It is through discipline, not desire, that genius awakens. The beast within you does not roar through passion alone. It roars through practice, steady, patient, relentless. Each repetition is a strike against mediocrity, each moment a chance to polish your edge. In the dojo of life, mastery through repetition is the eternal lesson. Do it again. Do it better. Do it until your soul recognizes perfection not as a goal, but as your natural state. Balance of mind and blade is the silent harmony that defines a true warrior. Power without calm is chaos, and calm without power is emptiness. Musashi understood that mastery of the sword began not with the hands, but with the heart. A trembling mind makes a trembling blade. An unshaken spirit makes a strike true. The warrior must cultivate inner stillness, not the absence of motion, but the control of it. In battle, storms rage, both outside and within, yet the one who maintains composure commands the flow of fate itself. This balance is the essence of Hiyoshin, the constant unmoving mind that remains centered amid turmoil. To balance the blade is to balance the self, body, emotion, and will aligned in perfect rhythm. The moment anger, fear, or ego seizes control, the warrior loses his way. But when the spirit stands firm and unclouded, every movement becomes deliberate, every action art. Musashi's teachings reveal that the sword is only a mirror of the soul. When the mind is restless, the blade wavers. When the mind is focused, the strike becomes inevitable. He trained not just to cut through enemies, but through illusion, through self-doubt, through the mental fog that blinds even the strong. Balance of mind and blade demands that you master not just the fight before you, but the war within you. The blade represents decision, sharp, immediate, irreversible, while the mind represents awareness, the calm before the cut. To unite them is to embody true control. Modern warriors must remember this. Every challenge is a duel between emotion and intellect, impulse and discipline. The one who keeps balance prevails not by brute force, but through presence, the quiet precision that only mental stillness allows. When mind and blade move as one, the warrior transcends reaction and enters flow, that sacred state where instinct guides without interference. This is the spirit of Seishin Tutsurugi no Itai, the unity of spirit and sword. In this state there is no hesitation, no conflict, only motion born of perfect balance. Musashi fought countless duels and never lost, not merely because of skill, but because his mind never fractured under pressure. His calm was his weapon. To reach this level one must practice stillness in motion, breathing in control even as chaos erupts, thinking clearly while the world burns. The balance of mind and blade is not just for the warrior's battlefield. It is for life itself. Every decision, every response, every confrontation is a swing of the sword. Master your mind and your blade. Your actions, your words, your destiny will follow. Balance is not a state you visit, it is a state you become. To adapt like water is to master the art of transformation, the ability to flow through every obstacle without losing your essence. Musashi wrote that the way of the warrior must be like water, formless, ungraspable, yet unstoppable. Water bends but never breaks. It takes the shape of whatever contains it, yet over time it shapes mountains and carves valleys. The samurai who clings rigidly to one form, one method, or one mindset is already defeated. True strength lies in adaptability, the power to shift between calm and storm, patience and precision, humility and ferocity. This is the spirit of Mujo, the impermanence of all things. To embrace it is to understand that nothing in life is fixed, not victory, not defeat, not even the self. The warrior who adapts like water becomes untouchable, because he flows where others resist. Change is not his enemy, it is his teacher, his weapon, his path. Musashi never entered battle with the same approach twice. He studied his opponents, observed their rhythm, and then became the opposite, unpredictable, fluid, free. This was not deception, but evolution in motion. The water that fills a cup is not weaker than the cup. It simply conforms, waiting for its moment to overflow. In life, the same law applies. Those who resist change are shattered by it, while those who move with it endure. The adaptable warrior is not controlled by circumstance. He shapes it. He sees opportunities in defeat, lessons in pain, and new beginnings in endings. When the wind changes, he shifts his sail. When the ground trembles, he adjusts his stance. This is the way of Fudoshin, the immovable mind that remains calm even as it moves with the tide. Adaptability is not surrender, it is strategic patience, the wisdom to move forward by yielding when the time demands. To adapt like water is to live without fear of transformation. In combat, in life, in self-growth, the moment you fix yourself in one identity, you stop evolving. Musashi's path was never bound by tradition. He broke conventions, mixed styles, and created new forms of mastery. His genius was not in imitation, but innovation. The same truth applies to the modern warrior. To survive in a world that changes every day, you must learn to shift without losing your center. Water teaches resilience through softness, victory through fluidity. It freezes into ice when challenged by cold, rises as vapor when faced with heat, and returns to flow when balance is restored. That is adaptability, to respond without resistance, to adjust without hesitation. When your mind flows like water, no obstacle can hold you, no defeat can define you. You become infinite, calm yet fierce, yielding yet unbreakable. In the end, to adapt like water is to embody freedom itself, mastering the flow of life rather than fighting against its current. To conquer the inner enemy is to face the fiercest battle a warrior will ever fight, the one waged within the depths of the soul. Musashi taught that the greatest opponent is not the one standing before you with sword drawn, but the doubt, fear, and weakness that dwell inside. This enemy is invisible, relentless, and cunning, It whispers lies that shake your confidence and plants shadows where there should be light. The path of the samurai demands that you do not flee from this darkness, but confront it with unyielding courage. Only by facing your inner turmoil can you break its hold and forge a spirit as unbreakable as tempered steel. This struggle is the essence of seishin, the spirit's fortitude, the quiet strength that rises when the body falters and the mind wavers. To conquer this enemy is not to destroy it, but to understand it, accept it, and rise above its influence, transforming weakness into power. The inner enemy wears many masks: pride that blinds, anger that consumes, fear that paralyzes, and doubt that corrodes resolve. Musashi's way teaches that none of these can be ignored or denied. They must be seen clearly, dissected with honest eyes, and faced head-on. In moments of defeat or hesitation, the warrior does not blame fate or others. He looks inward, examining the cracks in his armor. This self-awareness is the key to victory. The battlefield is not just outside, it is within every thought, every emotion, every impulse. By mastering the mind, the warrior frees the body. This is the practice of kokoro no tate, the shield of the heart, where discipline and compassion meet, creating a fortress no enemy can breach. To conquer the inner enemy is to reclaim control over your destiny, to silence the chaos inside so that your actions come from clarity, not confusion. In life, as in battle, the inner enemy can appear as hesitation before a challenge, as temptation to give up, or as voices that question your worth. Musashi's legacy is a call to arms against these invisible foes. He urges us to cultivate the spirit of the Bushido, the warrior's code, which demands honor, courage, and self-mastery. The fight is daily and relentless, but with every victory over doubt or fear, the warrior's heart grows stronger and clearer. This conquest transforms the self from within, turning vulnerability into resilience, pain into purpose. When you conquer the inner enemy, you no longer stumble in the face of adversity, you meet it with fierce calm and unbreakable will. You become the master of your fate, the author of your legend, the true beast that rises from fire, untamed, undefeated, unstoppable. To see beyond sight is to pierce the veil that separates illusion from reality, to awaken a vision that transcends the physical world and perceives the deeper currents that shape every moment. Musashi taught that the eyes can only reveal so much. True insight comes from the mind and spirit, sharpened through experience and quiet reflection. The warrior who relies solely on what is visible is blind to the subtle movements of fate, the intentions of his opponent, and the hidden opportunities that lie beneath the surface. This ability to perceive beyond sight is known as Ken no Kokoro, the mind of the sword. A heightened awareness that senses not only the present, but the possibilities of what may come. It is the difference between reacting and anticipating, between surviving and mastering the flow of battle and life. Seeing beyond sight demands training the mind to observe without attachment, to notice what others overlook. Musashi's genius was rooted in this deeper vision. He understood the rhythm of his enemies before they moved, the weaknesses in their stance before they were revealed. This kind of perception arises not from haste, but from patience and stillness. The warrior cultivates zanshin, a state of relaxed alertness, where the body rests, but the mind remains vigilant, open to every nuance of the environment. In this space, the warrior reads the world like a flowing script. Every breath, every shadow, every shift in wind becomes a message. To see beyond sight is to anticipate the unseen currents, to navigate not by what is obvious, but by what lies hidden, making your movements not just reactions, but deliberate, preemptive strikes. In the modern world, distractions cloud our vision and bind us to surface appearances. The way of Musashi reminds us that true vision requires looking deeper, into motives, patterns, and truths that are not spoken aloud. This deeper sight is not mystical, it is practical, born from experience and disciplined observation. It teaches the warrior to trust intuition backed by knowledge, to sense danger before it arrives, and to seize moments that others miss. When you see beyond sight, you no longer stumble blindly through challenges. You move with clarity and purpose, navigating the unseen currents that shape your destiny. This vision sharpens your spirit, expands your awareness, and transforms every encounter into an opportunity for mastery. To see beyond sight is to become one with the flow of life, ever watching, ever ready, ever victorious. Discipline over desire is the silent strength that separates the fleeting from the eternal, the momentary from the mastery. Musashi knew that desire, whether for comfort, fame, or pleasure, is a fire that can consume the warrior's soul if left unchecked. The true path demands more than passion. It requires the relentless discipline to restrain impulse and prioritize purpose. In the way of the samurai, desire is a test, a tempest that challenges the spirit's resolve. To conquer it is to wield shugyo, the austere training that tempers not just the body but the heart. The warrior learns to say no to easy pleasures and yes to the hard road of growth. Discipline is not denial, it is freedom, the power to choose what serves the higher goal over what gratifies the moment. Without discipline, even the fiercest desire leads only to ruin. With it, the smallest spark of ambition becomes an unquenchable flame. Musashi's life was a testament to this principle. He wandered the land with little more than his sword, forsaking comfort and wealth to pursue mastery. Desire for recognition or ease never swayed him, because discipline shaped his every action. The warrior's path is paved with sacrifices, missed pleasures, lonely nights, the constant struggle to rise above temptation. Yet it is this very sacrifice that forges the spirit into something greater than desire alone could ever produce. The samurai practices restraint not out of weakness, but out of profound strength. Each moment of saying no to fleeting cravings sharpens the mind and aligns the soul with purpose. This is the essence of Kodo, the way of self-control, which transforms desire into a tool rather than a master. Discipline over desire also means embracing discomfort, standing firm when the body aches and the mind protests. It is the warrior's refusal to be ruled by the ease of today at the expense of tomorrow's victory. The path of Musashi is not one of indulgence, but of intentional endurance. A daily commitment to rise again, to practice again, to fight again. Desire tempts you to pause, but discipline pushes you forward. When you choose discipline, you claim sovereignty over your life and your destiny. This choice creates a powerful paradox. The more you restrain desire, the freer you become. The beast within you awakens not through want, but through will. The will to master yourself, to rise above chaos and to walk a path forged by strength, not by whim. To live by discipline over desire is to become unshakable, unbreakable, and unstoppable. To live and die by the way is to commit wholly to a path that defines every breath, every choice, every sacrifice. Musashi's life was not merely about survival or victory. It was about embodying do the way, with unwavering loyalty and relentless purpose. The way is more than technique or knowledge. It is a code that binds spirit and flesh, mind and action, life and death. To live by the way means to embrace discipline so deeply that it becomes instinct, to walk a path so fully that every step resonates with meaning. Death is not the end, but a part of this journey, the final test that proves the warrior's honor and dedication. Musashi faced countless battles, knowing that to die was not failure, but fulfillment, if it was on the way. This acceptance frees the spirit from fear and ignites a fire that burns brighter than life itself. The warrior who lives and dies by the way understands that existence without purpose is emptiness. Musashi taught that a true samurai carries the awareness of death in every moment, not as a shadow of despair, but as a source of clarity and strength. This is the essence of Bushido, the way of the warrior, where courage, honor, and loyalty are not abstract ideals but daily practices etched into the soul. To embrace the way is to reject hesitation and doubt, to stand firm even when the odds are against you, and to find peace in the certainty of your path. The way demands total commitment. Partial loyalty invites ruin. It is a fire that consumes distractions and forges a life of meaning, where every action is an expression of the warrior's spirit, and every breath a step closer to mastery. To die by the way is to accept the impermanence of all things, the mujo that defines existence. Musashi's legacy reminds us that life is transient, but the way is eternal. When the warrior faces death without fear, he transcends the limitations of the mortal body and becomes one with something greater, a timeless force of discipline, courage, and honor. This fearless acceptance does not lead to recklessness, but to precision and calm. It is the ultimate freedom, to live fully, to fight fiercely, and to die with dignity. Living and dying by the way is the warrior's promise. A vow to remain true to the path through fire and shadow, to rise with unbreakable will, and to leave behind a legacy forged in spirit and steel. As we stand now at the threshold of this journey, remember that becoming a beast is not a fleeting moment of strength, but a lifelong forging in fire and discipline. Miyamoto Musashi's 8 rules are not mere lessons. They are pillars that hold the weight of a warrior's spirit, guiding us through chaos, doubt, and challenge. Clarity of purpose will light your path when darkness threatens to consume, while mastery through repetition hones your edge beyond any fleeting passion. Balance of mind and blade will steady you in the fiercest storms, and the power to adapt like water will grant you resilience when the world shifts beneath your feet. Conquering the inner enemy is the fiercest battle you will face, but victory there unlocks true freedom. Seeing beyond sight awakens you to hidden truths, and discipline over desire builds a fortress no temptation can breach. To live and die by the way is to embrace a path greater than yourself, a path of honor, courage, and relentless growth. Thank you for committing to this brotherhood of warriors, for choosing the fire over comfort, and for stepping forward with unbreakable will. Now, go forth and embody these pillars. Forge your spirit into the beast you were born to become.